So hey Kenny, welcome to My Genetic Nutrition's show on health. This is called the Making of Health show of My Genetic Nutrition, and we are discussing the great success story of Kenny. Kenny, that is Wilson Kenneth. And just before we start this amazing, awesome journey of Kenny about reverse diabetes, I'm just going to talk about a small disclaimer before we start this program. So I'm going to share my screen over here. Just a minute. So if everyone can see this disclaimer?
Yep.
Yeah, can you see, Kenny?
Yes.
So the disclaimer is basically no one should take anything from this program as a medical advice. This program is completely for generating awareness about diabetes. The diabetes is 100% reversible. I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, and diabetes is a dietary disorder, and it is completely reversible by changing the essential changes in the food that you eat. And the disclaimer that we want to say before we start this program is that no one should pick up anything from this show and take it as a medical advice and do changes in the medicines that they're taking. They should consult their doctor or their physician before doing any changes. But if you join our program, we will guide you through the entire process and ensure that you are safe. So this is the disclaimer, and it's very important that we have disclaimer going on. Stop sharing the screen. So we are back with Kenny. Kenny is having an amazing success story going on, guys. And it's an ongoing story. I mean, I had to actually catch Kenny in between his amazing story. But till now, what Kenny has achieved is nothing short of a huge achievement. Kenny himself, he is a freelance musician. He works with a lot of Bollywood stars. He travels a lot with because of his work. He's passionate about cooking, and we have actually named him Master Chef because he keeps putting all these unbelievable food images on our support group, and everyone is dying to actually eat what Kenny cooks. So after the lockdown is over, we are going to actually rush to his Sandra, and don't be surprised if we find a traffic jam on the way. Kenny loves food. He's a big foodie, and since he has started Kick Diabetes program, he's had his advantages and sometimes challenges. So let's go dive into Kenny's story, and let's try and listen to what Kenny has to say about his journey. Hey Kenny, how are you?
Hey, doing good, excellent.
Go on. Tell us how you're feeling.
No, I've been trying to keep my weight loss and all that under wraps so I can really surprise people. But so today I'm out in the public, so people are seeing me after a long time. They haven't seen me, with this weight left.
Actually, Kenny is. I've heard about Kenny from Bennett. Bennett is a common friend between me and Kenny, and Bennett always tells me that how Kenny is the life of any party. And if there is any party going on, they ensure that if Kenny is not there, they go and catch hold of him and they get in the party. And Kenny is that kind of a person. He comes with a lot of energy. He uplifts the entire floor, and he is much in demand, not just in the music world, but also in his friends world. So going back to Kenny, you and Bennett came to me a few months back, and you both had an issue with your sugar levels. And Bennett told me specifically that you were feeling very uneasy, and you both went to check your sugar, and you found some surprising readings over there. So can you tell us something about what happened exactly over there?
Yeah, so one of the important days in my life, January 5th, we had lunch together at a common friend's place, and we ate the same thing. We had biryani followed by just one scoop of tender coconut ice cream, natural. That name is very misleading. We feel it's healthy, but I felt so sick after that. Was quite dizzy, And this is something that only people on high diabetes, they know this feeling.
Right.
Vision was blurry and stuff. So uh, more than 4 hours after the meal, once we got back home, both of us, we didn't tell each other, but we both simultaneously checked our sugar readings, and it was skyrocketed. Like 4 hours after a meal, mine was 392. His was about 367 or something,
Right.
almost, which is crazy. So I
So
really,
both were kind of
I'm just,
competing with each other against sugar
yes,
levels.
this is like test innings. And what was really scared me was this is after more than 4 hours. What was it at 2 hours, right? So
Totally, absolutely.
I didn't
Crazy.
even want to, yeah. And that day was it. I mean, deep down, I knew inside you don't feed your body stuff that will raise your glucose. Why will your glucose be up? But I had no clue about it because, whatever charts had been given till then, I had followed, but uh, it didn't help. So that really, that was a turning point. And I have
Another
an
turning point.
image of that
That is
meal
kind of a
times.
jhatka that you got, and you said,
Yes,
now I have to do something about it.
that was my jolt. That was it. I have a picture of that image, and like funnily, it's a biryani that they serve literally in a plastic bucket.
Wow.
So I make this joke like we almost kicked the bucket, but PJ.
And now you're kicking
Another thing,
diabetes.
yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So, Kenny, what led you to this point in life where you experienced the symptoms of diabetes and you were so sick? What happened in the past 10, 15, 20 years? What was your
Mhm.
lifestyle? What do you think that has led you to this?
Okay, so uh, firstly, being a musician, I grew up in Bangalore, and it's known as the pub city. So, and for a musician to be playing there, it's unlimited alcohol, unlimited food, and I really took comfort in food. That's
Right.
when you have access to food, you really start tasting these things. So that's when I got hooked. I and you people call them foodies, but it's just an unhealthy lifestyle.
Right.
So and then like my friends know me, they say I'm the life of the party. Yeah, I really love to party and joke around, and alcohol is that fuel. So, but what always uh, completely misled me was at the end of the night. Also, I'm still standing straight, and uh, I felt I was invincible, but I
Right.
had no clue what was happening on the inside. So obviously, it
Right.
was taking its toll. Of course, I still live at home that time, so I was eating at home. But then, you're a college kid, you're a struggling musician, if you're eating out, the choice is limited, right? It's cheaper street food, which is
Right.
not good for you. The kind of oils they use, but we found it tasty. Then
Right.
fast forward, I moved to Mumbai about 7 years ago. So just imagine in Bangalore what I found cheap food. Just imagine for that value, what can you actually get in Bombay? I mean, this is an expensive city. So I think the quality of food in the budget range dropped even further to, those street Chinese. So I took
Right.
comfort in that.
Right.
And there were bigger portions. So I'd wake up in the morning again and eat it first thing.
Oh,
So,
wow.
I mean, like imagine fried rice for dinner with chicken lollipop in morning. So these things really added up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody takes to vada pav. It's your fuel, but that is some extremely high carb
You kind
stuff.
of get
And
stuck in this cycle of eating and eating and eating.
yes,
Every time you wake
yeah,
up, you're hungry. After 2, 3 hours,
yes,
again you're hungry.
absolutely. It's now that I can analyze it with a very clear head. I can see all the patterns. So while you are in that situation, there's no way you can see. It's a very. I mean, such a cliche to call it a vicious cycle, but that's just what it is. One thing
Right.
feeds into the other.
Right. Right.
And for
Absolutely.
me, food
Now
was a
you
emo.
realize
Yeah,
the addictive effects of
yeah,
sugar and uh,
yes,
carbohydrates generally.
absolutely. It's like the constant hunger. And then, the other crazy things. I mean, a lot of my friends can vouch for this, because when we're touring and stuff, uh, you might not get access to food. And it's that, that raging hunger pangs. And, you get angry. Like, our managers can really vouch for that because we really fight with them, like, where's the food?
Hangry.
We won't play. Yeah, we
The
won't play
term for
our
that is
concert.
hangry.
You to get, yeah.
Do
So
you know
we
the
never
famous
understood.
advertisement for Snickers? The hangry one.
Hangry, yeah.
Yeah. I
Exactly.
mean, the advertisements are so misleading because they actually engage you in such thing and they make you recognize that you get angry because of lack of sugar, and they push more sugar in you. So Snickers is all sugar. So they in fact entice you, and they make sure that you remain an addict of carbohydrate and sugar.
Yeah. And I can vouch for that. When I imagine Snickers, I think it's so craftily, the visual. I'm a very visual guy. The crafty, the first thing I think of is, hey, it's got nuts. So I'm thinking like, oh, it's a great source of energy. So there was Snickers in my bag, but you know how much caramel is there in that?
Yeah. How much sugar?
I mean,
how much? If we do a proper postmortem of Snickers, more than 50% of that, number one thing is sugar. Yeah. And everything else, whatever you think actually is healthy, is the minimum quantity in the entire Snickers. So nuts, if you talk about, if you think that's healthy, because they promote it as like, oh, it's got nuts and peanuts, etc., etc. But that's the minimum thing in that.
Yeah.
So what is that one thing in your entire lifestyle that you think really, really damaged your health?
For me, my life journey has been ups and downs. I came, with zero backing to Mumbai, really struggled as a musician. So for me, that food was a very emotional thing. I took complete comfort. Like today, I have to admit it. For me, the comfort was in food. For me, socializing meant feeding my friends.
Right.
I always have massive vessels at home, bartans to cook. So you ask any of my friends, even in my struggling days, I would always cook. And so for me, that was the thing. It was an emotional connect with food.
Right.
So you can just imagine, it's like giving away a loved one. It's really hard.
Yeah.
But my friend recently also just reminded me, it's like, you can't imagine like, oh, Kenny's like fasting and eating healthy. How is that possible? Because the last meal we had was at Persian Darbar. We have that massive thal for 6 people. Me and another foodie friend, we finished it alone. And we were like, chalo, what's next? So he can't even believe, like, I'm a thoroughbred South Indian, so amounts of rice, copious amounts of rice. We can't survive without that.
I think only you know what kind of suffering or what you experienced during that high sugar feeling, and what pushed you to actually change everything that you did for the past, half of your life till now, for your entire life. So that must have been a real experience to make you change and give up on the most loved thing that you've had entire life. That's food.
So
you've not given up food. You've just given up the essential part of it. We are still eating lovely, amazing food. I think the kind of food, the kind of pictures also you end up putting up on the support group are like awesome. They're just mouth watering.
Yeah, exactly. And the misconception is like, so many people even now, I don't take this negatively, but I'm really concerned. He's like, oh man, what are you eating? I'm like, I can say this out loud. I'm having like the best time of my life eating right now.
Awesome.
It's just, it's like, and really experimenting. Another thing is, before you need a lot of masala and all that stuff to really hit the spot, right? So here's another thing, because I feel like my body is flushed out with toxins and whatever trash was inside. I've stopped drinking, no smoking. I think my palate has cleared up a lot. So very little seasonings go a long way. Like today I cooked something with just garlic, chili, and like pepper, salt, and wow, it was. I'm really excited about this phase of cooking. Little things go a long way. I'm appreciating food a lot more now. And
so
really grateful for this.
Go on. Sorry.
No, I was really grateful for this lockdown also. I think
lockdown is I mean, it's the way you take the lockdown. I mean,
Yeah,
you can
exactly.
invest
Yeah.
in things that you've always wanted to do, and you can always look at it in a positive way,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
do the things what you've always wanted to do, and
Yeah.
that's what probably everyone should
Yeah.
focus on. And
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
question that pops up in my mind is,
Hmm.
when did you realize exactly? I mean, yes, there is a point that you came, your sugar was really high, you really felt sick,
Hmm.
but
Hmm.
did you come to know you're a diabetic much before that? As per our conversations, I remember it was much earlier
Yeah.
than that.
Yes. So actually, the first proper diagnosis I had was in 2015. You know,
Right.
where
Wow, that's
I
about 5 years back.
5 years back, more than, and that's when uh, I was made to sit down, given the whole lowdown on this, met the doctor, given my diet charts and the medication and all that. But here's the thing. I was actually looking at some old reports I found, and I actually found something in Jan 2013
Uh-huh.
that a blood test showed that I had a post-meal glucose of 240.
Wow. And that's in
So
2013. That's 7 years back.
the 2013, and no doctor said anything about it. That's the puzzling part,
Oh, that's
right?
really, really frustrating. I mean,
Yeah.
7 years. Yeah.
And so obviously it was not overnight that I hit that number, because 240 is high. I guess at least a year or two before that, I would have been like, it was high, but like 240 is really high. It
Yeah.
just increased
I mean,
over the years.
yeah. I mean, that's like a red flag, and you should have been
Yeah.
immediately. I mean,
Yes.
if you go by the standard care principles, then they should have put you straight away on diabetic medications
Yeah.
and done some further investigations. Do you have,
Yes.
did you experience some other health issues or something during the last 7, 8, 10 years other than
Oh,
diabetics?
oh yes. The list is quite endless.
Do you mind sharing?
So
Do you mind sharing with
yeah,
us?
yeah. So I think diabetes was on top of it, like top of the list, but also very high cholesterol. So I have reports to back all this up. High uric acid. Then, of course, I was sure there's all these other imbalances, but so I was on medication of all this. Then very high BP also, and to top it all off, I was on medication for depression. So I'd seen
Depression as well.
multiple, yes.
Okay.
And I had severe panic attacks also, you know. So
Mhm.
I had SOS medication for that also. I had regular medication what I would take in the morning and night, plus these SOS pills that I had to have on me all the time.
Right.
And yeah, that's just a list of stuff I was medicated for.
So,
And
so I'm just going to pause you here for a minute. Something else you had mentioned. Did you experience something else also, Kenny?
so, as in, sorry,
Any other thing health wise you experienced other than these five things?
uh, there's yeah, no, yeah, I mean, like mood wise and mood, all these things, and which I thought were mental related also.
Right.
But yeah, and also I've had, from a very young age, I've had like urethra stones. Uric acid was high. Every time I would ask the doctor, why is it high, they'd be like, no, drink water.
So
And I knew.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
pause you here for 2 minutes and
Yeah.
just trying to for the viewers' sake, I'm just trying will take them through your symptoms and what you experience and why you experience that.
Yeah.
So very interesting. Kenny has actually gone through so many different symptoms of malnutrition, and because the nutrition earlier, though he was eating a lot, did not contain enough nutrients, the right nutrients. So whatever he was eating either was making him deficient of what he was eating, or not providing him enough nutrition. And as a result, he was experiencing different things. He experienced hypertension, he experienced high uric acid, he experienced high cholesterol, he became a diabetic, he also experienced depression, and he also experienced panic attacks. Now let's try and understand these things one by one. So uric acid, why will you get high uric acid? Normally, the doctors will ask you to stop eating non-veg. They'll ask you to drink more water. they'll pick all these different things, very common things. But uric acid actually has been found that it is nothing but fructose toxicity. So fructose is a sugar, is a type of sugar which comes from fruits, and also is present in a lot of processed foods as a sweetener. So it comes through something called high fructose corn syrup. So fructose basically is advised or is not looked as something that damages your health. Doctors also will normally advise you to eat fruits if you have diabetes. But unfortunately, fructose sugar from fruits and also from your plain sugar, because 50% of the plain sugar is again fructose, and also from processed foods, when fructose enters your system, it does not have any way to get processed through your normal channels. So it has to be it goes straight away to your liver, and from liver there are 4 pathways. I'll just discuss 2 pathways over here. One pathway is where fructose gets converted to basically triglycerides and starts accumulating as fat in your organs. And the second pathway is where it converts to uric acid and increases your uric acid in your system and creates high uric acid. But because high uric acid, as uric acid increases in your system, there's something else that decreases as a result of that, and that is nitric oxide. And nitric oxide is something that dilates your vessels, your blood carrying vessels. And moment your nitric oxide decreases, your vessels constrict, and those are the vessels which are connecting to your kidneys, and kidneys have something called adrenal glands, which again control your blood pressure. So this is an indirect effect of high fructose intake. The other thing that Kenny experienced was depression and panic attacks. So because his earlier diet did not contain much of saturated fat, and saturated fat is a good source of cholesterol, your brain actually needs a lot of cholesterol to function. So the moment you are deficient in cholesterol, people deficient in cholesterol often experience depression. And people who experience depression do not understand why they are experiencing this. And normally when they go to a doctor will always put them antidepressant medicines. And a lot of times because of depression, there is another side effect, and those are panic attacks. And panic attacks can be because of lack of cholesterol, as well as frequent consumption of sugar and carbohydrates, because again, they are addictive. The moment you do not provide it to your body, for whatever reasons, you will start getting those withdrawal symptoms, and panic attacks are kind of those withdrawal symptoms. So lack of cholesterol and lack of sugar can lead to panic attacks. And there's so many other things that can happen because of wrong food eating habits. And most of the people today are consuming high carbohydrates. And if you just analyze the data of the health conditions that the present generation is experiencing, these are very common. And unfortunately, the solution lies in what we eat. And let's go back to Kenny and understand, after eating the Kick Diabetes plan, after correcting all the food habits, after changing the entire food that he's eating, what he's experiencing now. Let's try and understand, let's try and learn from him, let's try and pick whatever positive things we can pick from Kenny's story. Kenny, please go ahead and tell us how food has helped you get over all these things.
Sorry, I completely forgot to add the main thing. I've had a severely enlarged fatty liver for the longest time. I forgot to. I completely.
We have the reports also to
yes,
check and
to back that up.
Yeah.
So as you can see, it's a nice long list. Someone tells me, "Oh, I have hypertension." I'm like, I know, panic attacks. I know. I mean, you know exactly how it feels. So, through all this, just by correcting a few these things, these imbalances, and trying to get my sugar down, I mean, it has completely changed. Like everybody who speaks to me now is like, "Man, you're so happy," and like. I joke around saying I think I'm the only, like, the happiest person right now in the lockdown. People can't understand me right now. Like I am enjoying what I'm doing, like cooking, and what's really exciting is, so I know controlled portions of what I eat, as you have explained, what should not exceed, stay within these macros. So it's really great coming up with uh, you know, good ideas to kind of hit all these points and hit my macros for the day and dishes,
Right.
the dishes that I make. And it has changed completely. Like, this is what I keep telling. You know, people might tell you different things. I've grown up, you know, everybody is great at giving advice. Have this in the morning, don't have this at night. You know, all these baseless things, right?
Yeah, totally.
And now, like, your glycometer will not lie, right? It's a machine. It has one
Absolutely.
job. So that's not going to lie. And today, the kind of readings I'm seeing in that is just incredible, unimaginable.
So what are your
You
present
know, it's hard.
readings?
I'm comfortably pre-meal and post-meal, like between 80 and 90 now consistently. You
Wow.
know, below 100 even post-meal. You know, and that's, I mean, I can't even
Big
at one
congratulations
point.
to you for your
Yeah,
commitment,
yeah,
because all comes from you,
mm,
and that commitment is
yes,
what basically
yeah,
makes you successful, and that all comes from
yeah,
within you.
yeah. And I completely understand. So I completely understand when I see people who are going through the same issues as me and overweight and all that. I know, like, I've also gone through it my whole life. People always saying, "Oh, why are you eating this? Don't eat that. It'll make you fat. Why are you putting butter? Why?" You know,
Yeah.
everybody has this gyan, but there's nothing to back it up, right? There's no
Right.
numbers. There's,
Right.
like, I should be able to measure it. So, and you know, it's also quite, it's very counterproductive to, you know, tell somebody and put them down. It's easy to make fun, right? It's easy to be like, "Oh, you know, Kenny, itna mat khao. Kenny, don't eat dinner." You know, these are the things. And I feel then that pushes you more into the comfort zone of food, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sweet. So this, like, that first step to get over that hurdle and that food addiction was quite tough. But I think I got that jolt in January.
Right.
So I was able to see it through. But it's really tough. I see people around me also struggling a lot. And first
Right.
thing is, people are like, "I need breakfast." I'm like, "Who said so?" Like, it's not our concept. I mean, they're
Right.
like, "No, I
So
need my chai
yeah.
with sugar." Yeah.
So two things I
So,
want to ask you: how are your energy levels compared to earlier and now? And
oh,
second thing,
it's,
since
yeah.
you had panic attacks, so there must be some connection with your heart rate. In panic attacks, normally the heart rate
Oh,
goes.
yeah.
Can you also talk about, because we've discussed about your heart rate? I mean,
Yes.
you're the
Yeah.
one who
Yeah.
noticed it and came out with it.
Yeah.
So these two things, your energy before and now, and your heart
Yeah.
rate, that's very amazing, something to know.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank God for technology. You know, I'm able to track everything. It's amazing. So, like, my energy levels are gone, like, crazy high. I couldn't get through basic chores in the house without getting tired or my back aching. Today, I'm doing all the housework. I have crazy amount of energy levels. I'm able to work out and without even, like, like, I don't gasp for air. I was born asthmatic. Also, sorry, everything's like coming back.
Born asthmatic,
Everybody can
really? Oh,
vouch. Yeah, born
yeah, we never
asthmatic.
discussed about your asthma.
Sorry, we never discussed about it. Yeah, sorry. So
Come.
growing up, my family, my brother can all vouch how many times they had to rush me for nebulization
Oh,
in the
wow.
night,
I never
and
knew
it
that.
was crazy. Yes,
Amazing.
I completely forgot to mention. But inhalers, rotohalers, nothing. So lungs are clear, I feel. No shortness of breath. Uh, so energy levels have gone up, like, considerably. You know,
Amazing.
I used to nap a lot. Like, because we're touring, we have learned to sit in a seat and sleep, like take naps on planes or in cabs. So I used to constantly nap. You know, doctor, sorry, that had diagnosed me long ago with sleep apnea also.
Uh-huh.
I have the
Okay.
reports for that.
Oh, wow.
So I was supposed to carry a sleep.
You're like a treasure of the different
Man,
the
yeah.
things that
Sorry,
you've
we never
experienced.
even discussed. Yeah,
All
we
these
never
things are
even
coming out
discussed
now
this.
slowly.
Yeah. So I have reports where I was supposed to get the machine and, you know, live with that.
Okay,
I
now
never did that.
since you're coming out with all these new things, I mean, not new things, but
Yeah.
something that we never
Yeah.
discussed it. I
Yeah.
want to ask you, did you have a problem with snoring,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
and has
My
it changed
friends
now?
can. Yeah, it's like completely. It's very little now, but I would say mild. It was not like my friends and my bandmates who stay with me can vouch. Like I would roar and snore. You know,
So has it
there's
reduced now?
video.
Has this
Oh
snoring
yeah,
reduced?
absolutely.
Because
It's
the
it's
best
very
person who can vouch for it is your wife.
yeah. No, definitely reduced. And coming to my heart rate monitor, it's amazing. I have all the records. My resting heart rate used to be like 120, 118. You know, I knew there was something wrong. And in the day, any panic, anything, it would shoot up to 140, 145. I have readings that are like 193 and
Wow,
all.
pretty
If I'm
irregular
not
heart
mistaken,
rate, and that
yeah,
too on a higher side.
yeah, and I'm not some athlete or something. So I mean, this is really high for a guy who's like just overweight
You know
and
what? I mean, athletes actually they have reversed. They don't have high heart rates. They will only have high
oh,
heart rate during performance, but at
performance,
rest
yeah,
they will have very low heart rate because of the
very low,
size
yeah.
of the heart an athlete has.
With that, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why I say I was not doing any intense workout,
Right.
playing
So
sport,
in
and
your
it was
case,
just
without just idly sitting, you are saying that your heart rate would be 120, 130, 140.
40, yeah. So when I'm stressed, immediately it would show. This
Right.
thing would warn me, tell me to take deep breaths. Now, and just I forgot about that because I've been so excited and happy now. I just decided, hey, let me check. And I've got like a resting rate of 60, 62,
Wow.
and there's not much fluctuation in the day,
Wow. You know
like
what?
maximum
60 heart rate,
70.
I mean, resting heart rate is something that actually regular athletes, not professional athletes, amateur
Mm,
athletes
yeah,
will have 60 as their
yeah,
resting heart rate. And
yeah,
you, I think last 3 months or 4 months, we haven't focused on exercise as much. Exercise we've just started for
yeah,
last month and a half.
yeah,
We have
yeah,
majorly focused only on nutrition, and nutrition,
yeah,
just nutrition has made your body, your
yeah,
physiology, your heart change so much positively.
yeah,
And you know what? The more body weight a person has, there's a more load on the heart, and this
yeah.
completely shows your today. If I'm not wrong, you're 24 kgs less than what you were earlier,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
less 24 kgs.
Mm.
That's less load on the heart, and your heart
Yeah.
is responding with a big thank you by reducing its heart rate.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Because that's 25% of my body weight, like, or more gone. So that much
Wow,
load,
amazing.
mathematically also, if you see, it's that much load less on my
Yeah.
system, right?
So one more
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Since you opened the treasure box, did you have a problem of swelling in your legs while traveling?
Yeah. Yes, definitely. There would be swelling, and then sometimes you feel like your legs going to explode.
Right.
So that was always there in long flights. If I had international flights and I couldn't walk around, it was one of the most excruciating things ever, where that pressure would build up, or sometimes you'd just fall asleep and wake up a lot later, a few hours later, and then it would feel like
So
really,
has
really
anything
horrible.
changed now after the dance?
Oh yeah, like nothing. No, and there's talking about opening the treasure chest. Doctors a lot misdiagnosed me with spondylitis. Okay,
Okay.
but I took X-rays eventually. So one sensible person told me, take an X-ray and let's check. And my spine and neck was fine. It's just that the load of carrying a heavy instrument and
Right.
playing,
Right.
that mimicked some symptoms, I would say.
Right.
And
Right.
constantly had a neck problem, back issue.
So
All
here,
my friends know
so
that.
here two things
Yeah.
basically we addressed in kick diabetes. One is inflammation, and second is the
Yes.
weight. So two ways your body got rid of the entire stressed load. So the weight is gone off your skeletal system, so nearly 25%, as you're saying. And second thing is because of the kind of food that you're eating through the kick diabetes program. It targets the inflammation created by the earlier wrong food that you're eating, and that is reduced. So we will check all these lab tests after the lockdown is over, and we'll come to know all and we'll get all the evidence. So we can again have a show. We can only talk about the evidence, the before and after effect.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
So what else? Anything else that you would like to add to the entire journey that you've been having so far?
Yeah, I mean, anybody can vouch for the kind of person that I am. I was rather, the love for food and alcohol and everything. And I just like to really assure anyone who knows me that, I mean, if I can make make this change, I mean, anyone can. Okay, and through this, I mean, like you said, I came to you to reverse diabetes, but I mean, everything is getting to normal. We're addressing all the issues. My health is my main thing. I mean, you can see the evidence, everything you can measure.
Yeah,
And even my mental health is
absolutely. So,
so good.
have you stopped all the medications? Because everyone would want to know, all the viewers would want to know. I mean, you were taking medications before you started this program. You were on several medications, as far as we all can understand from all the different things that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Now, after starting the program, did you stop the medicines immediately, or has it taken some time to stop the medication? What is the present state of taking medications?
Yeah, no, I had decided to stop everything like immediately, and no medication. And I have all the readings to back it up. I'm in great levels, no medications, and it's not even like upper limits of anything. It's well within. Like, I don't believe in upper limit, right? Then you're still close to that border. You want to be well within it, right? So zero meds.
So absolutely no medication, no antidepressants, nothing for the panic attacks, nothing absolutely. Awesome. And no painkillers as well, nothing.
No painkillers. Everything's gone.
Beautiful.
Said, sleep apnea. My quality of sleep was bad. Now my sleep tracker shows zero disruption in my entire night. I'm getting 7-8 hours. No, I don't need to take. I should take a lot of melatonin. Don't need. Nothing.
I know a lot of people, they sleep with the oxygen machine because the doctors advise them to wear the oxygen mask and sleep, because they suffer from sleep apnea and at the same time snoring. So a lot of times they stop breathing, and that is what normal doctors advise. And it seems you have overcome this limitation now just by changing food.
And it's unbelievable. Like, I know my quality of sleep. If you ask my bandmates who share the room with me while touring, they can tell you how many times, like, first of all, you used to get up to like pee so often because of high sugar. Second is, you wake up gasping like you're struggling for life. You feel like you're drowning. It's a miserable feeling, you know. And of course, the snoring. Like, in my initial few bands, I know behind my back, they would, like, it was almost like a punishment, like, okay, you are going to share the room with Kenny, you know. But thankfully, after that, I had friends who were deep sleepers, so I could also sleep and snore, and they would not wake up. But I know the trouble that people went around me, you know, people went through who were around me. I was also advised the machine and the CPAP machine so long ago, nothing. I mean, if I can have a great quality sleep, deep sleep, it shows nice low heart rate. I mean, great quality.
I think I'm going to have a separate chapter just on you and your conditions, how and the kind of results we've got, and you've reversed almost every condition that you have.
Yeah, if you dig deeper, I'm sure there are other things I'm forgetting. But it's, you know, slowly.
You're a treasure house, Kenny. You're a treasure house.
Because you're on medication for like 6-7 things, and you had a few more problems, you'd be like, chalo na, like, ignore it. So I've almost forgotten. I want to tell you about asthma and my bronchitis and all those things. So it's crazy.
So can you tell us something about the support system? You know, everyone needs some support system, and in the Kick Diabetes program, along with the care that we provide for the entire program from our side, we also expect the person who's following the diet, his family and his friends to support. So did you have to create a support system, or you already had an existing great support system? Because both the possibilities are there in people's lives.
Uh, no, so my first good support was my good friend Bennett, who introduced me to you. And funny thing is, the same meal that changed both of us, right? Uh, I mean, I think it was meant to be. It was fate. It was great timing.
Yeah.
So he was the first support for me. Kept encouraging me. We would initially send each other's readings, and then he'll send. I fasted so much it's come down. So that's how we started till we met you, and then once you. And one thing was there. So I felt accountability was the key, right? So if I'm doing things in quiet, then I'm, answerable to no one, right? But what I would do is I would keep posting my readings on on my family group to keep showing them. I knew they would encourage me,
Right.
like saying, "Hey, good job! It's come down so much. Oh, you've lost." Then I would send pictures. So I felt like I need to be accountable first of all, because now if I goof up and go back, you are going to feel bad, right?
Right.
That you were showing progress and now you're back to square one. So I wanted
Totally.
that, and of course our support group, everybody's constantly encouraging you, because it's great. And there's no competition, but it's so encouraging to see, like I thought my readings were bad, and there are people on the group who are far. I was like, whoa, is it? And to see the change, that it's all possible. I mean, I mean, it's like magic in a sense, but it's not. It's science,
The
right?
good results
The
over here are contagious, right? In
Yeah,
our support.
yeah, absolutely. And what's great is we're constantly sharing everything we're doing.
Yeah.
The meals, the readings, so we get to understand. Pre-meal, what happened, post-meal, and then of course you're analyzing. Okay, today it went up. What did you do? Did you sleep well? Are you stressed? And then we understood. So I
Right.
understood stress was a big thing. So many days I would fast, and I hadn't eaten anything, but still my sugar was high. But I was stressed that day. So there is a response to that.
Yeah.
So you learn to, you don't want to lead a stressful life, right? So I've learned not to take stress. So I mean, it's been a great support system, and of course you also face a lot of negativity. People always like, "Oh, what are you doing? Is this right?" There's been comments, "Oh, that old Kenya is fun, yeah. Where's the alcohol?
There,
Where's
there
the
are
fun?" I'm
always
like,
people who won't believe in
yeah,
you. They're always naysayers.
yeah,
They're always who would question what you're doing. So
yeah,
how do you deal with these people?
yeah. So that's still a work in progress for me. But for me, the biggest thing is, I mean, if you like the Kenny with the big bottle of whiskey in his hand, then I mean, now maybe we shouldn't be friends. I mean, not like that, but this is all like I said, it's very emotional for me, the connect. So I'm also learning to adapt, and in this whole process you also really get to know who are your real true well wishers, who don't have anything to benefit of you, who are genuinely encouraging you, right?
Right.
So tomorrow if I become rich and famous, I mean, a lot of people will become your friends, right?
Yeah.
But uh, if you're just losing weight and getting your health, other people don't really have anything to benefit of you as such.
Right.
So you get to know, you'll feel that negativity. People
Yeah.
might not even be doing it consciously, but you know they're gonna feel like, oh man, yeah, this guy is like doing, and they're like, oh man, come on, yeah, just one drink, nothing's gonna happen. And I know the damage of drinking. So
Now you have
like
experienced it and you've got the jhatka.
absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. So I
So
mean,
I
it's so
always,
great to have a support. Yeah.
so I believe in this one thing.
Hmm.
I'm very influenced by this book called The One Thing, and that book always talks about the domino effect. And one thing
Yes.
leads to another, and then
Yeah.
that chain reaction always, it keeps expanding so much, the domino effect,
Hmm.
that ends up becoming a big thing. So I
Yeah.
think in your case, if I analyze that one jhatka that you got, you and Bennett, when you had the meal and when you saw the
Hmm.
readings and what you experienced, that has
Hmm.
kind of rolled on and become a big
Yes.
domino effect. And this is where you're standing today. This is where we are actually discussing, chatting about your success
Yes.
journey. And I believe this is just a part of your success journey, because your
Yes.
success is still growing and that domino effect is still
Yeah.
growing right now. And we are right now
Hmm.
somewhere in the much, I would say, in the very early stages of your
Yes.
success story, and still, if we have to see the results, they are huge. I mean, from the kind of positives that have come out just in 3 months. I remember Bennett started the journey, and you and Bennett started the journey together, but you started the program much later than Bennett. I think a month or month and a half later.
Yeah.
But the kind of results that you have got, I mean, by speed-wise, I would say the speed is amazing. I mean, your body has responded like lightning, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, really, if I have to think, like, you know, was drinking for over 20 years and, you know, smoking, and I firmly believe that sleeping was a waste of time. So my life was just designed around staying awake, and the kind of nonsense I've eaten, first of all, is amazing. Is how much the fact that I'm alive is a big thing. The fact that my organs are still working is beyond. It just shows me what an amazing thing the human body. And now just few months of change and this much like everything is gone. My glucose level, I mean, it really, I mean, this human body is an actually amazing thing.
Amazing.
And
we just have to provide the right environment. I mean, and the right environment is created by the kind of food that we eat.
Yeah. And like you said, it's these little changes. And then I look back now that I can think with a clear mind. I don't have that food addiction. I can think, those days I had that angry hunger pangs. You're ready to strangle someone. Like, where's my food? I remember so many times me and my, if we didn't have, there are delays, right? If you didn't get your food on time, you would just storm out, go to a restaurant, silly things. But when you're in that moment, that time you can't think. It is an addiction, and you don't have control over it. So today, having overcome all that, food is not an addiction. I'm enjoying it. It's fuel for me, and I look at it as nutrition, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing in few months what my long list of problems, and I'm sure everybody's problems are far less.
So other thing I want to ask you is, after, the day we met for the first time, what were you expecting from me, and what did you get out of that session that we had on the first meeting?
Yeah. So everybody knows I like to give a lot of yarn. I read up. So I think I knew a lot, but obviously before things, there were things I would do. Like I would eat a plate full of, say, tandoori chicken. I'm like, that's protein. It should not spike my sugar. But my sugar would be really high. I'm like, oh, something's wrong with me. But then there's so many things I didn't know. So that first talk that we had, and you made me understand. And what was brilliant was, whole life we have grown up with just baseless yarn, right? There's no proof to back it up, right? But this was with scientific evidence. It's the science of it. This is how the body functions. And, you had also explained to me, when you consume excess protein, this is what happens. And this is why your sugar will still stay high. I did not know that. So I would go ahead and eat so much meat, and my sugar would still be high. So all my myths, you had sorted it out. So many doubts that I had, so many things I thought I knew was clarified. That was amazing. So for me, learning is always amazing. So that first meeting, I didn't know what I was getting into. Bennett just said, "Hey, listen, you got to meet my friend. And, let's go for this." I knew I wanted change, but, I didn't know the path. Some of us were trying, but we didn't know. But I made all those changes, and obviously I'm seeing the results now. That first meeting was really like an eye-opener, and I really got drawn to, I believe I'm a man of science, and I believe in numbers and facts. What we can measure, that's what's working, and that's what I've seen. And also whenever you've advised me anything, we've checked. Suppose there's something up with my reading, we've analyzed what I've eaten, and they're like, okay, this is it, avoid it. The moment I avoid it, then my readings are great again. So, that is proof in the pudding. So,
Micromanagement.
yes,
And it's a
like
journey.
that.
So I believe we
Yeah.
all are on a journey, and nothing. We actually don't know how our body is going to respond to certain food types,
Yes.
and we have
Yeah.
seen it in
Yeah.
our support group. Certain things suit
Yes.
certain people, and certain things don't suit certain
Yeah.
people. And it's a
Yeah.
journey because it's a constant learning process, and it's a constant
Yeah.
adding and elimination process. And we add something that suits us, we add it more, and we eliminate something that doesn't suit us.
That
So
doesn't. Yeah.
it's as simple as it can get. But
Yeah.
for that, as you rightly said, we need evidence in front of us, and
Yes.
our glucometer makes a great job in
Yeah.
giving us evidence all the time. So I mean, I guess all the viewers and everyone who's watching you today is going to be
Yeah.
really happy, and they're going to take not one, but I think they're going to take 10 things away from this entire talk. But I would still want everyone to get one message that Kenny would want to give to them. What is that one message that you would like to give to all the viewers that they should basically, that would help them in 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 changing or taking a step towards their health?
Yeah. Uh, just speaking from personal experience, uh, like so many things I didn't know what was wrong, and now with a clear head, when I think about it, I understand it was all connected to my food. So I really encourage people, like, if you're going through things and you can't explain it, just reach out to someone, talk to someone, and try and find the root cause for all this. Because I've been a case of, or something, my mood swings, my panic attacks, here, take medication for that. Today I understand this. In my head, there's actually nothing called as depression. It's all the other imbalances. I mean, at least in my case, it was all these other things that were going on which was affecting me. And today, and I have to be really ashamed to talk about it. That's another thing I would really encourage people. Nobody, I mean, people going to watch this are, first of all, they're going to be so shocked because nobody would know even 1% of my health issues. And today I'm very proud to speak about it because I feel I have defeated them, right? I've conquered them.
Amazing.
So today I'm not ashamed of it. I'm speaking to encourage. So if you really, I mean, for people who know me, you can come talk to me. I can put you in touch with people. Rahul is there. So really encourage you to talk and try and find out what is the root cause of things, and don't blindly, first of all, one more thing is, like, don't blindly take advice. Like, there's always going to be this auntie and uncle saying, do this in the morning, you'll be fine. Like, if that was working, then why are you so overweight? Like,
that is something amazing that you said.
So try and, like, I mean, look to science. That's all I can say.
Evidence based.
Yes, evidence. They're saying by taking this, your vitamin go up. Go check it. Go do a test. Is it going up? Yes or no? You have your answer. You can't take multivitamins. Never work for me. You've seen my test. It's all low. Multivitamins never work.
Just don't take vague suggestions from people कि ये सुबह खाओ तो इससे कम हो जाएगा, ये शाम को खाओ तो ये हो जाएगा, ये do this, so this will help you in reducing your sugar, reversing your diabetes. Always have evidence in front of you. So and our entire program is based on evidence.
Yes, evidence, exactly. That's what is changed, and that's what I believe in. Like, on a side note, my mom will be watching this also. Just to make me drink all sorts of stuff in the morning, like soak methi seed or slit bindi, put it in water, drink. This will bring your sugar. No, there's no evidence. My glycometer will not lie, right? But now, whatever I'm doing,
moms like, always worry for the child's health.
Yeah,
so we
they
can't,
worry, exactly.
We can't blame them. They do whatever best they know.
Exactly.
And,
they have spoken to some people, and somebody else has advised them this. Somebody else would have advised them also. But you see how it passes on without any backing. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, you need the reading.
Totally agree.
So yes. So that's the thing. I would say, like, believe in science. Whatever you can measure and see evidence with your eyes, I think that is there.
Amazing. I mean, the kind of journey you've had so far, I mean, I thought I knew most of it, but after talking to you today, I think I still need to discover a lot of things, things from your life. And in fact, I came to know so many different things that you experienced health-wise, and that you have overcome just by changing the food that we have planned so far. So this Kick Diabetes program has really worked wonders for you, but it wouldn't have worked if you wouldn't have committed towards it. So your commitment is what actually has got you all the results. And to Bennett also, I told him that it's always a partnership that works, and it's great that our partnership over here has given us some flying colors, and we are performing really well at a what do you say? We are winning all the matches and we are winning all the tournaments. So let's hope that going forward we also win the World Cup of our health. And as I said, this is just the beginning of your journey, and so far we've had some amazing journey. So guys, this is My Genetic Nutrition's Kick Diabetes Program's Making of Health program on health. We are discussing the amazing success story, health success story of Kenny, Wilson Kenneth. So anything else that Kenny you want to add, or should we just call it a day?
No, that's it. I'm like, believe in science.
So thank you so much, Kenny, for joining us. I think this is just one of the, I would say this is episode one of Kenny. There'll be many more episodes in future. So thank you guys for joining us.
This,
Kenny, go on.
Now I was like, everybody feel free to contact Rahul and on this amazing journey.
Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Kenny, for vouching. So anyone who wants to start their journey on health about any issues, diabetes is one of the issues which we are focused on, reversing diabetes. And that's one message that My Genetic Nutrition or myself want to spread through this program, Making of Health, is that diabetes is reversible. It's a dietary disorder. It can be only solved with correcting what you eat. So India being a 1.4 billion people population country, we believe that there are a billion possibilities and we have billion opportunities over here. So we want to spread this message to 1.4 billion people in India that diabetes is reversible, and what you are eating today is going to either make you healthy tomorrow or sick tomorrow. So better make changes today in what you eat. So see you guys again in the next success story of My Genetic Nutrition's Diabetes program. See you soon. See you, Kenny. Thanks for joining.
Hey,
cheers.
Nice. Awesome.